What is truth and what is there to know? Truth is ultimately liberation of the mind. In other words, being free of the mind, liberated of the mind, realizing and discovering yourself beyond the mind. And the only way to do this is to lose yourself as this mind body, as this character, as the birth name and the spoken word, this character you assume yourself to be. And in losing yourself, you find yourself. It's more of yourself than you ever knew existed. And it's a self that you don't recognize, which is why we say we're dying. However, once we have said we have died, there is something that remains, that reports that the character has died, and this is where you are embodied by the I Am, which is the only truth there ever is. The truth is ultimately reality shattering. Because when you look at the spoken word, everything that we know and exist through is a spoken word. But the truth is stranger than fiction. It cannot be told and understood through spoken word. The only way you can understand this is through going through your own spiritual quest. And some are more serious than others, more persistent to get there than others. Because again, many of us in our spiritual quest think there is a final destination. And this is why the mind is the final frontier, not space, because space is ultimately created from the mind itself. The mind is the abyss. And anyone with money or anyone with power or a position of power knows there is no place to go. There is nowhere to go. We're not on some place we call Earth that we think is shooting through space that could someday give out and cease to exist. And this is why all of our projections are always, millions of years ahead. In 20 million years or 2 million years, there's an asteroid or Earth won't exist or the sun will burn out or whatever, because obviously the characters that are here now won't be there. But it's when you say now is the only time, what that means is there is only one witness here, there is only one presence here. And again, all these words don't exist, but I'm using different words so that you, the viewer, understand. There is only one presence, there is only one character, there is only one consciousness. And that is what we call God. We are one viewer, the all-seeing eye. And that's what these secret societies are worshiping, the singular eye, the dot in the circumference, illuminating out, because you are ultimately the all-seeing eye. But this is when man is awakened to himself or herself beyond the mind body, the human mind. Until then, we're just in our animal brain. We're thinking we're human, existing in somewhere, some place. And this is why many people are thinking they're stuck or trapped. Because we exist in the spoken word. We have fallen from grace, which was truth, which was being whole, which was being God, undivided. And we've fallen into the spoken word, which is the who, the what, the where, the why, and the how. And the who is your character, and the where is this place we've assumed ourselves to be. And again, the truth is stranger than fiction. So how do you tell someone that there is no physical earth? There is no earth suspended in space. That's a physical object. And again, this has been proven in 2022. 3 physicists won the Physics Nobel Prize for discovering this and proving that the earth we see and experience is not locally real. And what that means is that you, the seer, and what you see or observe are directly connected. So there's not the body and earth, there's not inside and outside. There appear to be two, and that's the relationship of the yin-yang, the black and white, the on and off. There appear to be two, but they're truly in unison, working in unison as one. It's ourselves, unconscious, as the animal brain, as man, that is trying to put one against the other, the black versus the white versus the black, because we're unconsciously aware that we're not just one or the other. We are the all-seeing eye. We are God. We are everyone. So when you say now is the only time, you're acknowledging that now, in other words, you are not what is being born and dying as these characters. You are what is now as this consciousness, this singular presence. Only can you experience this for yourself when you have gone through an ego death. You know, spirituality is so decorated and trending nowadays with social media. But ultimately, you don't need to pay money. You don't need to pay anyone to bring you to truth or to help you get there or realize anything, because the truth of it all is you're already there. However, you must go through this quest. That's the point of a guru. They put you through this quest in your mind, thinking that you're getting someplace, and then you realize you've been there the whole time, and that's when the teacher leaves, when you realize the truth. It's been you the whole time. And it's the very same with psychedelics. Psychedelics, if you've experienced that, they don't bring you to a place. All these constructs are the mind. Again, it's been proven, you can look this up, it's been proven that our brain can construct or make structures in up to 12 dimensions. So everything is the mind. This is what all these movies are about. What's it called? Interstellar, sorry. Where he goes to the fifth dimension, and he realized, they didn't bring us here, we brought ourselves. It was us the whole time. It's us behind all these dimensions, and what I mean by us is it's ourselves awakened to what we are beyond this animal brain, this mind body that assumes it's a human, that assumes it's in a position in space, a where, and in birthing and dying. Everyone wants to know the big secret, but again, the truth is stranger than fiction. Many people turn these videos off as soon as they hear this, because they think it's complete, ludicrous. But again, there's no polite way to tell someone they've dedicated their entire life to a dream. What that means is there is no position in space called the earth. There is no where. The where is the mind itself. And many people who have discovered this, who have realized this, have either gone mad or found themselves. They've either lost themselves or found themselves. Because again, it is reality shattering. And this is why it can never be disclosed through your televisions or through your news networks or medias, because your major medias, because this would shatter reality. And the majority of people who want to exist comfortably in society and know what they know, who aren't searching for these type of things, can exist in what they know. And this is where, I think NASA and these corporations are ultimately helping people support their dream. They're not trying to lie or hide anything from the people, because the truth has been disclosed. Again, the truth is already yours. The truth is here the whole time. But again, the government has disclosed everything that they have discovered, and it's well documented in all their files that there is no central object that we're calling the earth that is suspended in space, essentially. Not in these words verbatim, but it's very complex words, but essentially they're telling you it's not a central object in space, that the seer and what's seen are one and the same, and that this is a mental construct. And this is why we can all be standing next to each other, staring at what we can agree to be called the earth, yet you think it's flat, I think it's round, I think it's flat, you think it's round, because is it a 6 or a 9? And that goes back to you, the observer, the dual-sided brain. You have two sides of your brain. It's split down the middle. So the 6 and the 9 are your dual-sided brain. Is it a 6 or a 9? Is it a 6 or a 9? Is it this or that? Is it this side or that side? You'll notice everything that we exist through as this animal brain, as this human construct that we assume ourselves to be, exists through this two-sided dual brain. We create scenarios and think, will it go this way or that way? The truth is, there is only one truth. It's not this or that. It is the one reality. There is only one reality, and that is the happening itself. What you call the only time is now itself. The only time is now. There is only one moment, and that is the now. Time is an illusion because it is you the whole time behind all these mental constructs that we have very aggressively assumed ourselves to be and safeguarded. And not only that, but gone on a very persistent pursuit to find, to seek the truth to the being of this character, the root of this character, the origin of this character. And this is what we've been doing as a collective human species for a long time, getting nowhere. But every now and then, those who persist enough awaken. They discover themselves beyond this animal brain, beyond the birthing and dying of this human construct, this character. And this is when you realize you're not just one name. The name is irrelevant. You are all of them. You are all of them because you are everything and no thing. No thing is everything. Everything is no thing. You don't need to hold on to one identity because you're all of them. There is nothing to hold on to. But again, this can make you lose yourself or find yourself. But what the point of this is to liberate you from the mind. No longer will you seek, because no longer will these questions that once kept you up at night fool you with who you are. These questions that we persist with in spirituality stem from who we believe we are. And again, we're trying to get to that root of this character. If we can just find who we are or where they came from. And that's why these gurus, these teachers, these people you come to for guidance tell you to reanalyze yourself and look within. And that's the people who are honest. Again, there's people out there that are taking people's money by the thousands of dollars over online in the spiritual community. And it's no different than religion. But you know who's serious is the one who does not want you to come back. Because again, when the student is truly ready, and I don't want to say the student, but that's the quote, but when the seeker is truly ready, the teacher, the speaker, whoever you're going to, disappears because you realize it's you the whole time. Most people are not looking for these type of videos. We want ways to... Spirituality has been reduced to creating an abundance of money or manifesting, certain situations. And that's perfectly fine if that's what you're looking into. But if you're looking at an honest ego death, if you want that true red pill experience, if you want that true... if you want to understand these movies to the core, an ego death is the only way. This is where you see beyond the boundaries of time. This is where you understand all symbols, no matter what time they came from, because again, it's all now. It's always been you. 1,000 years prior and 1,000 years after, it'll still be you. Not as the same name, not as the same features, characteristics, maybe a different gender, but it's still you. It's all you. That's what I am means. I am that I am. And in these holy books, that's God's name, I am. When you say that, you are saying you are. But again, there are some who want to believe and some who want to know. That's what truly separates religion from spirituality. If you want true spirituality, then you want to know God. If you still want to believe or, manifest or create things or align with things, that's part of belief. Then you're still in the religious aspects. But to know thyself beyond all boundaries, beyond time, beyond space, beyond everything, is priceless. And again, it doesn't cost you anything. It requires you to reanalyze everything you thought you knew, going back to the core of who you are. Who do these thoughts, who do these beliefs, and who do these questions belong to? I. Well, who am I? And that is the grand question. Who am I? You can only answer that question so many times until you're reduced to silence, until you at last arrive at the true origin or the true being of yourself. Because you are not these words, you are not the spoken word. We have fallen into the word, into the animal brain. But we are something so much more. We are what we're calling God, not... See, in our animal brain, and I keep calling it that because man is essentially an animal, if you want to consider it that. We are a part of the animal kingdom. But we as this idea of being human, this belief of being human, create our mirror opposite. Again, this side, that side, the brain, mortal, immortal, man, God. We create God to have these superpowers and to do these super things, but that's not at all what God is about. Again, do you want to believe God or do you want to know God? Because you can know God very quick. And again, very few people are willing to pay that ultimate price, because the final price is yourself, is you. Everything you most seek is just behind everything you most fear. And what majority of people most fear is death, the end of yourself. Because, and I don't mean the physical shedding, when the heart stops. I mean when you reanalyze and go into a spiritual quest through introspection, looking within your own mind. Because again, the mind is the final frontier. And when you truly get to the core, the root of who am I, who are you? Because you must understand, you can only believe in what you don't know. If you believe in something, you don't know it to be true. You can't believe in your family because you know them. But you can believe in God. You can believe in God's characteristics. You can believe God can do super things. But you don't know. That's why when certain situations go wrong, we blame God. But that's not how God works, because God is not some being. God is the essence, the energy, the presence, the moment, the happening that cannot be explained through words. No one, not me, not anyone, no scientist, no physicist, no one can bring to words nor describe to you what is happening right now at any given time. Because to simply exist at all is insane. It's an impossibility in itself. Why are we here? How are we here? But that's just it. We are this energy that's simply giving life to itself, because life is the gift itself. When you understand and awaken to the true nature of what you are and who you are here. Heaven and hell are just mind states of the brain. Again, this or that, the split brain. Everything that we know and exist through in the animal brain of the human is dual-sided. It exists in duality, two states. The sun and the moon, day and night. Here and there, on and off, you and me. But beyond that, there is one truth, and that is, again, I'm going to use many words. One consciousness, one presence, one moment, one energy, one spirit, one God. They're all the same thing. Because again, all these words are made up. They're irrelevant. But I speak the words to obviously communicate a message to my own self. Different characters of myself, which is the whole point, for us to communicate, for us to enjoy this impossibility. Because again, there is no words to explain why we're here, how we're here. But that's why, again, love is the final answer. Because when you know, and what is there to do with all this but understand ultimately why love is the final answer. Because you, as God, as this one, as this oneness, as this energy, which has no form, because you're everything, everyone, everywhere, everything. There is nothing separate from you. So there is no experience at all. There is nothing that can be known. What do? You create with your energy an experience in itself, an impossibility in itself, that can never be turned off, because it does not work through an on and off system. You are the infinite impossibility, the infinite energy, the infinite being that cannot be explained, that we call God. And again, it has no shape, no form, no characteristic, no time, no place. It's all places, all things, all people. No thing and everything at one time. That's why time is ultimately an illusion. When you're seeing through the macroscopic lens. When looking through the microscopic lens, obviously time is very relevant, because everything has to exist in a sequence of orders, beginning and end. Everything that you know as this microcosmic lens exists in such a fashion, beginning, end. Everything that we do, from our day to our movies to our books to our everything is beginning and end. Our life is beginning and end, or so we think. But what we think to be death is like going to sleep and waking up. Only you're not waking up in the same character or form. And to some people that's scary. However, again, love is the ultimate answer. It's not meant to be some scary trick or game. But one thing you can understand when you have experienced death, at least I can speak for myself, is you understand nothing is lost. No one is lost. Your family and everyone that you love, every moment you want to hold on to forever, nothing is lost. So just because you wake up, or as I say, you die and wake up the next, in the different character, different form, doesn't mean anything was lost, because again, nothing ever happened. In a sense, if you want to consider that. But it's a dual-sided way of looking at it, again, because I'm so limited with words. Nothing ever happened, yet everything happened, right? Nothing can ever be lost, because nothing ever was. That's the madness behind the spoken word. But that's just it. We are the paradox in itself. We are the it. We are the central point on the clock. That's why, again, the words will back you into a corner so much when you're trying to speak on truth and nothing but. Because we are not contained by these words. And that's ultimately what creates our reality, or is these words. Our beliefs in these words shape our entire reality. So words have very significant power behind them, and that's what the falling into the spoken word means. But when they say in death your life flashes before your eyes, what it does is, in my experience, is it parts ways with you and all your most loved ones. And this was kind of like, for me, the flashing of my life before my eyes was seeing my loved ones. Only they were disappearing right before my eyes. And at first I thought this was some horrible, dirty trick. And I didn't understand, and I was very sad, obviously. I was frustrated. But then I realized this is what death actually was, because I realized I wasn't mourning the loss of them. I was being prepared to mourn the loss of myself as my name, Tyler. I was mourning the loss, and that's what me shedding those tears for them actually was. You losing the ones you love the most are only preparing you for the one you truly love the most, and that's yourself, which you never assume or think you'll be surrendering at any point. But that's what death is that point of no return, that once you see beyond, once you pull back that curtain, you can never go back to, I don't want to say pretending, but assuming yourself to just be one character at one place and time. Because once you pull back that curtain, you see what's considered the void, and the only thing that can be said is, just by looking at it, you will understand that that is all people, places, and times, things. The absence of anything but the presence of everything. And there's nothing that can be seen because nothing is separate. So it's an endless void, because what can be seen if nothing is separate? There is no inside or outside. Which is why, again, we've gifted ourselves this experience of love, of life, which in our animal brain, us getting mad in traffic and mad at our jobs or mad at each other or fighting over things that honestly aren't even important. This is what taking the dream too serious is. This is what forgetting who we truly are and what this truly is all about. And that's the thing, when we don't understand the literacy of we're all one, all is one, when we don't understand truly who we are, it's very easy to be swayed into fights and arguments and wars with each other. Because we personify and identify ourselves with our beliefs. And some people, many people, are willing to fight, willing to die for their beliefs. Some of their most sacred beliefs. But again, get to the root of all those beliefs. Who do they belong to? This character, which is your name. And who is this character? Because ultimately, we are not that. We are free of all of it. But the hardest part is letting go. But that's why, again, death is that point where it abruptly stops you. And it does not let you take your beliefs or anything that you sacredly hold on to in the mind. It stops you and shows you to yourself in an abrupt moment. So again, I get very few people are wanting to go this deep. So this video, I get people commenting all the time, why don't your videos have more views, or I can't believe you only have this amount of views. But this is the thing, I'm not on here claiming to be able to manifest money for somebody, or to change their life by watching this video, or I'm not trying to advertise anything. Spirituality, in all honesty, is a trend. And I'd have to say, it would be very hard for me coming up in an awakening type situation that I went through back then, I'd probably say 5-6 years ago now, in today's time. Because there's so much misinformation, there's so many people out there with websites and giving information that have yet to master or do what they're teaching. So this is why I created this YouTube page, and the reason I didn't want to create a YouTube page several years ago was because I said there was too many channels, it's too watered down, there's too many people speaking about the same things, and I still feel it's that way. But I also feel like there's no channel that's just giving it raw and truthful to people without asking for anything. Every now and then I'll ask for a donation or for something, but I don't charge people for things. I don't want people coming back is the thing. Eliminate the middleman and discover what you truly are, who you truly are. Because once you do that, it eliminates me. You don't need the speaker. You don't need the messenger. You're instantly brought to the reminder of you've had it the whole time. It's you the whole time. And that's the beauty about what we call an awakening, is that it can happen at any point, at any place, at any time. Even when your life is a wreck, even if you're broke, even if you're poor. None of that matters. If you were just fired, whatever. I was in the dumps. I was working a night job through my awakening, through my true awakening. It was the only job I could get pretty much at the time. Let me tell you, I didn't call out. I worked through my entire spiritual awakening while metaphorically losing my mind, like having to ask people, is this normal? Is this okay? Am I all right? It took me months to realize what happened to me on my psychedelic journey with mushrooms. But one time, took about 5.5 grams on an empty stomach, and that was my experience with death. And that's why I can truly say and understand why they say when you know, you know. There is no belief. And it's not to sound full of yourself, it's not to sound cocky, but again, when you know, you know. That's another, very popular comment I get on the channel is, how are you so sure? How do you know these things? Or how do you sound so confident? And that's how. I can only go off of my experience. I can't say this is, absolute. But obviously there's many people throughout time that have all experienced dying or reported death and pretty much universally come to the same conclusion. Of oneness. And that's what can be known for certain. It's everything that comes after that that begins to distort the oneness, the isness, the God, because we begin to speak more words, and that's when, let's just say someone says, God's beautiful. Well, that word may offend someone. Or God is Hebrew or Indian or Arabic or Muslim, whatever. That's where truth gets distorted because now we're personifying what God is. We're trying to have it match our culture, our history, our story. But we're much more than our borders and our flags and our tribes and our colors. Because again, we appear as many. But that's the grand trick of the eye. The eye can be assuming it's seeing something that it's truly not. And there's many pictures and memes that show you this. But like there's a picture of a Coca-Cola advertisement, and it's showing you the Coca-Cola brand, and it's telling you there's not a speck of red in the camera, in the picture. But your eyes are creating and filling in the gaps of red, creating an illusion of red. And when you zoom in the picture, there is no red. So your eyes can very easily play tricks on you, which is what's happening on the surface level every day. The same with the alien. We're looking for some alien in outer space. We don't recognize that we're not only looking in the mirror of the alien every day, but we're seeing it every day in society. Those people we call humans, or we assume to be something that we call human, are the alien we're so persistently looking for. But we don't recognize the alien, the unknown, because we've yet to discover ourselves. This is why what you seek is seeking you. You are the unknown to yourself. And once we understand ourselves, we understand that nothing is coming to save you, nothing is coming to reveal you to yourself. No foreign entity is coming to show us who we are. Because again, ultimately it would be rejected if our beliefs in our animal brain, of these beliefs that are safeguarding who we believe we are, saw that, we would just reject anything it had to say anyway. But again, you are the it. Excuse me. The same way many people reject what I have to say right now, because it goes against their beliefs. They're safeguarding who they believe they are, which is perfectly fine, again. But you can't believe and know something at the same time. And again, that is the true differential purpose between spirituality and religion. And there's no shame in either one. There's no difference in either one, because they're both you. They're both one. They're both the same being. So there's no difference. There's no shame. Some people need to know. Some people need to believe. Some people who need to believe refuse to ever want to know. And that's just fine. Just as some people who need to know refuse to ever believe. They want to know. We want to pull back that curtain now. We want to fast forward that movie to the end. We want to get to the end now and figure out what, why, how. But again, what you seek is seeking you. So those who find these type of videos, what you seek is seeking you. You're here because you're seeking something, or something that correlates with this, with these topics, with death, with ego, with time, with the dream we call reality. But again, the reality we know in this animal brain is duality, beginning and end, day and night, today, tomorrow, here and there. But beyond that duality, there is only one true reality. And that's the presence, the energy, the beingness, the now moment. I'm using many different words so people will understand. Because again, words limit the truth. This truth cannot be described. How can it? It's an impossibility in itself. No degree, no amount of badges, nothing will ever grant you enough words to be able to describe the impossibility of this. And that's why truth is stranger than fiction. What that means is we couldn't make up in our wildest dreams anything more perfectly divine than this reality right here. But again, through what we assume ourselves to be in our lower state of consciousness, that's probably what I should call it, not the animal brain. That might upset some people, but we essentially are animals, but or part of animal. But in our lower state of consciousness, we assume ourselves to be something we're not, so we assume life and this place we're in to be something it's not. We take it far too serious, and this is what the point of an awakening, of a spiritual journey, is meant to do, is to free you of this mind, to liberate you from the any misery, any depression, sadness, seeking, questions of this mind. Spiritual awakening is not meant to turn reality into some dark and gloomy place, where you think, everywhere you look, someone's trying to kill you, whether it's a corporation, a government, or this or that. This is not the final chapter. This is, I would say, a chapter along the way to truth. Again, every piece serves its purpose, but ultimately these type of topics that reveal to you something is not right with reality are meant to domino you into the ultimate truth of what reality is. It's meant to bridge you with reality so that you can sleep peaceful at night, so you can exist peaceful in the day, so that you can enjoy this beingness and appreciate it by fully understanding the impossibility behind this. If you know how much pieces and how many functions go into making a car run, just look around you. You're looking at something 2 million times more complex. All these moving parts from within to without, as above so below, as above so below. Yet it's all one. It's all one energy. Just like Alan Watts says, how does a centipede move 100 legs at once? It doesn't think, it just does it, because it's all one. It's all one motion. It's the very same with us. We put, in our lower state of consciousness, though, we try to put the white versus the black. This is like the ocean trying to put the crest versus the trough, or, the current against, the sea. My point is it's all one. It's working together as one motion. So when you see the ocean, or the beach, it washes ashore and washes back out. But you'll notice it fills any holes of sand that are there. So if you step in the sand and create a hole, when the water washes it up, eventually it puts enough sand in that fills that hole. It's a perfectly intelligent design. We are the very same. And that's just it. We can only work in unison with what we're calling the earth, the universe, and everything in it, from animal kingdom to you and me, when we fully uncover and realize the intelligence that is behind everything around us and realize it's all connected, meaning it's all you. When you awaken to this, you'll no longer, when I say you, it doesn't mean you as the birth name, you as this mirror image. It means you as this being you're calling God. It means you as this presence, which is one, which has no name, which just is. And all you can help but do is just sit back and embrace and enjoy and be wrapped in this experience. Be embraced in this experience instead of the mind racing or instead of the mind constantly seeking or thinking of a different question. We don't exist between beginning and end, and we don't exist between question and answer. Which is why the only question worth answering is, who am I? Because any questions that we answer other than will only create 10 more questions. We must get to the root of who is the questioner. The questioner is the ego, and in order to experience the end of the questioner, it must experience death, the end. And the only way to do that, again, is through deep introspection. Who am I? Deeply think on it. Who am I? And try and answer this with words so many times, because eventually, as I said, you can only answer this question so many times until it backs you into a corner and reveals you to yourself. Who am I? Tyler. But who am I? Try and describe yourself after that. I'm 5'11", but who am I? You know, you can describe your job, your attributes, your likes, your dislikes, everything about you. But who am I? But who am I? But who am I? It will back you into a corner of truth, because eventually you won't be able to answer. At last revealing to you, you are the silence. There's a good saying that says, if I'm the voice in my mind, what is listening? And that's just it. We've created a character out of the voice in our mind, and we've identified and attached ourselves to it. But we're not the voice in our mind, we are what's listening to it. Which is why question and answer is irrelevant when you understand this. Then you will understand and try and get to the root very persistently of who is the questioner. But I just wanted to make a video and put it on this channel. Sorry I haven't been able to go live. I saw a comment the other day saying they missed my lives, so I apologize about that. It's been about 2 months since I've been live. It's been very busy. I'm a father now, so it's been great. It's truly the best joy, the greatest joy in the world. Just shows you love even and deeper than what you thought you knew, you know. But through this lens, through this perspective, you know, obviously it changes everything that you thought you already understood or knew about love. But it's beautiful, you know, seeing obviously a reflection of myself, you know. Not that my child has to look like me to be a reflection of myself, because you are a reflection of myself. We are a reflection of myself in the universal sense. But again, it's beautiful being a parent and getting to apply all these things that I've recommended to other parents, you know. And one of those things that I'll share is you instill morals, you instill principles into your child, but you ultimately don't teach them, in a sense, if that makes sense. You know, some people will abuse that quote, but you know, don't look too far into it. Just if you understand it, you know, it's powerful. You know, the child teaches you. You don't teach them, in a sense. You know, again, you instill morals, principles, you know, right and wrong, things like that, obviously. But you don't teach them, they teach you, means many of us as adults have gotten lost. Again, we take this too serious. And what the child does is it shows you, it teaches you, reminds you that your inner child, that innocence you once saw this world to be is still in there. And it gives you a chance to come back out and play. It reminds you who you truly are and what this truly is. Seeing their smile, seeing them want to play just shows you that that's all we're doing here. Even at your job and the most stressful moments, just try and remind yourself it's just a play. What that means is it will be over. So try to enjoy it. Careful the end doesn't get there too soon. Embrace the good and the bad. But always remember, one of my favorite movies is Big, Tom Hanks and Big. Because you'll notice everyone's so stressed at work and in a horrible mood, and he's playing, he's in an adult body, but he's playing the role of a childlike mind, and he's going to work playing and spinning in the chair and having fun and not taking it serious at all. And he's excelling farther than anyone else simply because of his childlike state. And it's the very same with all of us. It's like we've lost that magic, we've lost that innocence within us. And again, it's still there. But a child is a beautiful way to remind us, to teach us how to fly again, how to, see the magic in life, how to see beyond, clocking in and clocking out of our jobs, and then, maybe bring some more meaning to doing such. But it's been a beautiful thing getting to be a kid with her and just seeing the joyful energy for absolutely no reason other than being, which is the entire point. When you want to ask what's the point of it all, what's the meaning? To simply exist, to enjoy, to not take it so serious. But again, embrace the good and the bad. It's all one. It's all one motion. It's not working against you or against anything. It's just one motion. Sometimes things will sway good, then sometimes things will sway bad. That's the pendulum. But ultimately, you are free of the duality in a spiritual sense when you know yourself. You're not the character in beginning and end. But it's been beautiful. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate, obviously, Christmas is coming up, so if you celebrate something different, obviously, happy holiday to you as well. But I hope everyone spends quality time with loved ones, family. Just be thankful, appreciative, Try not to let the time pass too quick. Slow down. One thing I always try and remind people too when they get frustrated with their family or loved ones is and it may sound harsh, is that you're gonna miss these people when they're gone. If they leave before you, if they physically pass before you, you'll miss those little quirks. You'll miss those things about them that most annoy you. You'll miss, certain qualities about them when they're gone. So just, to try and embrace, try not to take things so serious, try to be more in the moment and to just unconditionally love. Let people be. And again, don't let, someone's sourness spoil you. Don't let, a dark world, turn off your light. Don't make people's bad days or harsh words toward you become your inner voice or your inner dialogue. Because you're free of everyone's judgment, you're free of everything. And just like all of us, we all want to be loved. You deserve to be loved. We all want to be liked and accepted and to have fun. And you deserve to be liked, accepted, and to have fun here. That's what we're all here to do. And that's ultimately going to be my greatest message to my daughter, to